If you have no karate training, you've probably been impressed by the raw power that can be released in a punch or kick. If you do have some training, though, you likely were schooled in one of two methods. There is a third that is more obscure. And because we concentrate on methods for older people and those who are not athletic, we use the third way to strike, which is what many experts down through history have done. I call these three methods of power the three S's. The most prevalent way to strike is what I call the smashing power. This is the typical karate use of body mechanics to plant the feet, twist the hips, rotate the fist, and thrust out at the target. The feeling is one of creating an impact on the target that will smash it. But for the first 22 years of my training, I was taught to use a different kind of striking force, which I call spearing power. In this method, you make a smooth, deeply penetrating thrust without any regard for any mechanical manipulation of the body. The feeling here is to skewer the target by focusing far beyond the surface. The hand pulls the body along behind it, rather than being shot from it. You see the effect on the makiwara. The third kind of power is one I had the good fortune to learn from watching an old Okinawan master. After I first observed this, I found that lots of people have used this down through the years, and we adopted it because with it, one can be effective in striking without any muscle or long training. I call it shocking power. In this method, you use the spearing action, but immediately retract the hand very quickly. The recoil that's caused by pulling the hand halfway back creates a shock effect deep inside the human body, very much like the billiard player's cue stick that strikes the surface of the cue ball, but the ball behind it receives the shock. The cue ball doesn't move, but the 8-ball does. Or maybe you've played with a Newton's cradle and been impressed with the mysteries of physics. Well, because we're using natural forces or the laws of nature, as well as the laws of the human body, the shock method appears to be the most effective disruptor of an attacker's insides, while taking the least amount of time to train. We even developed a special kind of makiwara to help with this process. Most karate styles do not teach this even to their older members, but a number of high-ranking experts use it privately. There's only one style to my knowledge that uses the shocking power for everyone, and that is Isshin Ryu, one of the lesser-known styles in Okinawa. But even the famous Masoyama, a man who fought bulls with his fists, used the recoil thrust. Now, karate hackers, you may want to try this old Chinese training method that was passed on down to Okinawa. It's a good feedback mechanism for seeing if you're doing a good recoil. Get a bottle and a candle to fit into it. Fill the bottle about halfway up with water to weight it down a little bit, because you will, in the beginning, knock the bottle over. It must be a sake bottle. No, just kidding. You want to do this with short sleeves or no sleeves, but you don't want the cloth interfering with this experiment. You light the candle and you are going to practice striking as close to the candle flame as you can. The object is not only to displace the flame, but to extinguish it. You can only do this by a rapid recoil. Again, don't cheat and use your sleeves to do the fanning of the flame. Do it bare-armed. And there you go. You'll foul up a few times, and then you'll learn just the right way to create that vacuum. You strike so fast that you create a vacuum just like the way your attacker's insides act when your blow separates tissues and moves organs and then suddenly allows them to spring back. When I said shocking power, I meant it. The displacement that's created inside by the hand when it leaves is like the vacuum to the flame. Don't get frustrated if you hit the candle in the beginning. You'll have some trouble for a while, and then you'll discover the exact way to move the body to create a good recoil. Smashing power nor spearing power will do it alone. Only the shocking power will blow out the candle. Oh yes, one other thing. It's not good to do this too many times in the air. Once you're able to do a good recoil, practice on a padded target that has some give. Remember, any shock that's not absorbed by a target is absorbed by you. When you're older or have joint problems, you find this out fast. But you younger guys can save your joints by never using a lot of power in the air. Hit the bag, hit the makiwara, go nuts if you want, but I advise you to go smoothly without full power when practicing in the air. I hope you've enjoyed this little lesson. See you karate hackers later.